Hello everyone, how are you today? It's already the end of January. How did that happen? It's really weird. I feel like we're in this twilight zone and nothing is really happening at the right speed. Time feels like it's flying by and crawling by at the same time. And now that I'm pre-recording these, all of this uncertainty is making it really hard to make comments about what's going on in the world because what's happening feels like it changes day to day and moment to moment. So we're going to keep it short and sweet and get right into it, all right? Before we do, though, allow me to introduce myself. My name's Alana Robinson, and I'm a parenting coach for parents of toddlers, preschoolers, and kindergartners. I help you understand why your kids are misbehaving and how to fix it without yelling, shaming, or timeouts. I'm your host here on the MudRoom. I'm also the host of the Parenting Posse Facebook group, and I'm the creator of the Parentability program, where I help you raise well-behaved kids of your own. So if you're here, say hi, and while you're here, please give this video a like, and if you aren't already, subscribe so that you never miss another class. Okay, have you ever heard the term, put your oxygen mask on first? We all know the concept, right? If you're in an airplane and the cabin pressure drops, those little yellow masks fall down from the ceiling and you're supposed to put yours on before helping others with theirs. Why? Because if you pass out from lack of oxygen, you can't help anyone else. Your child can't put your mask on for you. Your elderly companion may not be able to help you. So the idea is that if you put your oxygen mask on first, you get your air flowing, then you'll be able to turn around and help the people around you. And I know that it's an overdone cliche. Moms in particular are always being told to put their oxygen masks on first, and most of us would rightly roll our eyes so hard that we pull a muscle because, sure, it's a cute thing to say, but it's not exactly that easy in practice, is it? We have so much on our plates and nobody is helping us because we're superheroes. So in an effort to preserve our sanity, we do the only thing that we can. We deprioritize our own shit so that our plate feels just one iota more manageable than it did moments before. Here's the problem with that, though, and why it's actually contributing to more misbehavior from your children. It's contributing to more shit on your plate, pun 100% intended, so that if you can almost guarantee that your plate will never be empty enough, that you feel you can put taking care of yourself back on it. And as you may have come to expect at this point, our limbic system is to blame. It gives off brainwaves, literal brainwaves. Just like light waves and sound waves exist, so too do brainwaves. And what our limbic system is responsible for is keeping us safe, our memories and our emotions, right? So the brainwaves we give off are not reasonable, rational, or knowledgeable. They're emotional safety signals. And the people around us pick up on those. Dr. Stuart Shanker describes it like a Bluetooth connection to the people around us. And the people you connect most easily with are the people you're most familiar with. Just like how your phone connects to your car when you get in it, and maybe even connects to your spouse's or friends' cars when you get in theirs. But if you get in an acquaintance's car or an Uber, it's not going to connect, right? So we connect most easily and quickly to the people around us. But we can still pick up on others' brainwaves. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt the vibe and thought, shit, what is going on in here? Or have you ever been in a meeting where you don't really know any of the people, but you can instantly tell who is the cocky jackass and who is the quiet alpha and who is the quiet submissive? Yes, because body language helps reinforce these perceptions, but it's the brain waves they're giving off that most strongly influence us. So what does this have to do with putting our oxygen masks on? Well, nobody is closer to us or more adept at connecting with our brain waves than our kids. Because for them, it can literally be a matter of life and death. If mom's not okay, chances are that I'm not okay. If dad's giving off danger signals, I'm probably not safe. And what happens when I don't feel safe? I up my arousal level to try and be on high alert for danger, which burns all kinds of energy, which means I don't have energy left over to use to think rationally, use my knowledge and language, and run my executive functions. Which means my behavior goes in the toilet, right? If you're like, what the hell is she going on about? Go back to our episode on what is stress and the difference between stress behavior and misbehavior. All of this to say, if you're not okay, your kids can't be okay. It's actually physically impossible. So no matter how calm of a facade you're putting on, no matter how well you think you're hiding that you're unraveling behind the scenes, no matter how good you've gotten at white knuckling it, your kids can tell that you're not okay. And this isn't telepathy. They can't tell why you're not okay. If our neocortex gave off brainwaves, then yeah, you'd be able to hear other people's thoughts and reasons because that's where language lives. But it doesn't. And the limbic system has no language. It just has emotions and intuition, feelings. So that's what our children get, feelings. And they can't tell where the feelings are coming from or what the impetus for those feelings are. They just know that you're not okay, so I'm probably not okay. This is why on those days where your give a damn is busting, it seems like your kids behave worse. Because they do. Because when we're having a bad day and everything feels like an attack, we give off those I am not okay signals, so they up their arousal level to try and protect themselves from the attack that you've obviously perceived, but that they aren't. And this can very quickly become a feedback loop. You didn't sleep well, so you perceive your kiddo's indecision between cereal or a Pop-Tart as stalling. So you start getting annoyed, and they pick up on your annoyed vibes, and their brain goes, uh-oh, danger? Where's the danger? Be on high alert! And then they start getting a little nuts. And that frustrates the hell out of us. And they pick up on the increased frustration, which they read as increased danger. And then they go on even higher alert, which results in more intense behavior. And before you know it, you're screaming at them to sit down and shut the fuck up and do as they're told. And they're confused, upset, and scared. Right? This means that self-care and putting your oxygen mask on first cannot be the bottom of your to-do list if you want your child's behavior to improve. The more dysregulated that you are, the more overdue you are for a break, the worse they're going to behave. Taking care of yourself isn't lazy. It's not self-indulgent. It isn't something that you should only do when you're at your breaking point. It needs to be consistent and your top priority. Higher of a priority than their regulation. Higher of a priority than their needs. Yours come first. Because if you're not okay, they can't be okay. And I'm not talking about like nail appointments and bubble baths. Those are nice too. And you should definitely schedule them if they're things that make you feel like a human being. But this can be as easy as refusing to get up from the table once you're sitting down and eating your meal hot. For me, a big thing was drinking my tea hot. Making tea and not getting to drink it till it was ice cold grinds my gears like you would not believe. I told my kids very clearly that Mama was not available to help them until I had my tea. They could play until I was done. And I refused to do anything else until I've eaten and I've had my tea. Even if they're upset or they needed my help or whatever. Nothing happens until my tea is done. One way that I and a lot of my clients often overlook is not rushing to solve their problems for them when they're frustrated as fuck and prioritizing calming ourselves down first. So for instance, Owen does this wailing thing that totally sets me off. When he gets dysregulated, he just sits down, opens his mouth to the sky, and wails. It's like, you know, out of Charlie Brown when they're looking up and all you can see is their mouth. It's as close to that as you can get in real life. And it triggers this instinct in me to hit him. My brain is going, shut it up, attack, attack. So of course he isn't going to calm down because my brain is sending off alarm bells. And most parents would try to take care of the child first and then go calm down. But I've learned to take care of myself first, even though that means he's going to be upset for longer. Crying never hurt anyone. So I go punch my punching bag because resisting that desire to hit something actually makes my dysregulation worse. And obviously I'm not going to hit him. That's how my brain wants to protect me. But I obviously can't hit him because that would be a felony. But I can hit things that were designed to be hit. And then once I'm feeling calmer, I can go deal with him and help him calm down. That's self-care. That's prioritizing my needs over his. That's what it means to put your oxygen mask on first. It's not about spa days and girls' weekends, though I do love those, and I can tell you how much my mental health improves when I have them and I give myself permission to start doing regular things like that again. For me, one of those things was manicures. I don't know why, but there's something about having my nails done that just calms me down. But those are the big and frequent things. Just like our kids need regular breaks, so do we. And that break can be as simple as taking 10 minutes to go kick the shit out of your punching bag. Or going into the bathroom to take some deep breaths. Or go sit in the car and blast some 90s rap. Or go rip some weeds out of the garden for 10 minutes. It's going to look very different for every person because everybody has different sensory needs. So my biggest tip when you're learning to do this is to try not to judge what your breaks look like. It doesn't have to be zen. It doesn't have to look normal to anyone else. If you try to go stand in your shower and scream to calm down, and that's what you need, do it. Don't judge yourself out of it. Often these are the things we were chastised for as children, but that nobody showed us how to appropriately accomplish. Well, now you're an adult, and you know that tearing plants apart is not an acceptable thing to do. But tearing weeds out of the ground is not only acceptable, it's productive. So go do that. The bonus of this, when we model for our kids what it looks like to put our regulation first, they start putting theirs first. A couple of days ago, Owen and I were butting heads, and he wanted to go sledding, which was awesome, just not possible at that particular moment. And he was getting so frustrated with my consistent answer of not today, tomorrow afternoon. And rather than wail at the sky, he said, I can't talk to you right now. I need to go scream into my pillow. And he marched off and he found a big fluffy pillow and he wailed into it instead of the sky or my face, which was a massive win. And then he came and he found me when he was done, and he clarified that he understood that we were going tobogganing tomorrow. He just wanted to go snowshoeing outside right now, which I had not picked up at all because I was so focused on denying his request to go tobogganing. So I was like, oh, cool, go get dressed. Do you need help putting your snowshoes on? By modeling putting my regulation first, I've actually taught him that it's okay not to just push through when we're frustrated. It's acceptable to go and take a break and come back to solve the problem once you're calm. I showed him what to do, and after a lot of repetition, he's doing it on his own. He's doing it at school when he's frustrated with peers. He's doing it with his brother. If we want our kids to calm down before they try to solve problems, we have to show them how to do that. And that means that we need to do it. So next time someone tells you, don't forget to put your oxygen mask on first, try not to roll your eyes so hard that it gives you, a pulled muscle, because it's probably the truest saying in the English language. And the more you remind yourself to prioritize your needs over everyone else's, the more they'll start to take care of themselves too, which frees up more space on your plate rather than adding to it. And you'll notice that their behavior improves, your mood improves, and everyone's just a whole lot happier. So what do you think? I know it's counterintuitive, but does it sound like something you can try out? Nobody's going to be perfect at this. I'm certainly not. My husband and I can often be heard bellowing to each other over the kids, "Spiral!" to try and get each other to acknowledge that we're getting caught in a feedback loop. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. If you want to learn more brain-based ways to change your child's behavior, go grab my free scripts for managing crazy making behavior. There's 10 quick scripts that you can use to drop and stop behavior episodes in their tracks, and I explain why they work so that you know how you can and cannot change it to customize it for your own kids. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next week for another Uncommon Sense parenting class. Bye!